Hey guys, it's Nick with Urban Farm Boys. How's everybody doing? It is time for another crochet and chill video. It's been a few weeks actually since I made the last one. It's been quite the summer. If you've watched any of my previous videos, I've talked before about how busy I've been with school and work for the last 2 months, but I'm officially done with my summer class. I have 3 weeks off, still working full-time, but I'm done with school. So I have some free time. So it is Friday night. We live in the forest. I don't have any plans. I'm old. I'm not that old, but Friday night doesn't mean anything when you're nurses and your partner works night shift and you work day shift. So I thought I would do a little video for you guys. And if I get my way, I'm going to get this filmed, edited, and then post it so that we can watch it live together as a premiere. A lot of you guys have said you really enjoy doing like the premieres, which I would like to post one every weekend. My goal is to post one every Saturday morning. I think the last weekend I did one on Sunday morning, but that's the goal. So by the time you're watching this, I should have probably just filmed it last night. So I have some stuff in front of me. I'm gonna work on a little crochet project tonight and chat with you guys and catch you up on how things have been and what we've been up to and what we're going to do with the rest of our summer. So it'll just be like a chatty, chill, crochet with me video. So if you have anything to work on, grab it, get comfy, and we'll just hang out. If you're not a crochet person, if you're a plant person, you can do some plant care, or you can do whatever the heck you want. But I'm glad you're here to hang out with me today. Can you guys see right here? I have some very, very Halloween-y colors in front of me. And that is because I went yarn shopping like a week ago. It was when I finished. I finished my classes last Friday. I think last Saturday. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I read an entire book. I went to see a movie in the movie theater. I started a new blanket, which I have no business doing because I have like 4 unfinished ones. But I have a little bit of time these days, and I was excited. And I like to watch Kayla Alt Knots here on YouTube, which she's doing like a Summerween thing. I think for her, every day is Halloween vibes, but she's doing this Summerween thing, and she's been posting all these videos of Halloween decor in all the stores already, which normally I would think is very weird, but I was kind of inspired. So I went out and I bought some yarn and started a blanket. So I'm going to work on it tonight. I'll show you. But I thought I might start by showing you the yarn I bought. So I went to Joann's, which I don't usually go to because there isn't one very close to me. The nearest one is maybe like half an hour away in a town I never go to, in a direction I never go. But I wanted to. So I bought some very orange yarn from Joann. This is just a big twist value. If you're a Joann shopper, I'm sure you know this yarn. And they didn't have a ton of spooky colors. They had basically just this orange one. So I think I bought 3 skeins of this. I didn't know what I was going to do, but it was very Halloween-tastic. They had, I was hoping to get some like slime green colored yarn, and they didn't have any. But I bought that. They did have slime green, however, in t-shirt yarn. So I bought this big twist t-shirt yarn. I've never used t-shirt yarn. It says it's made with recycled materials. That's cool. But this is Sour Lime is the name of the color. 100% recycled polyester. I don't know what to do with t-shirt yarn. These also were like $12 or so per skein. I didn't have any coupons or deals. So I was like, let me experiment. So I bought the green and a black, one of each. And I was like, once I figure out what the heck to do with t-shirt yarn, I'll try something. And then if I need more, I'll just go and get more. And if they're sold out, oh well. So I bought these things, and pretty much as soon as by the time I was home, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these guys, but I was like, I want to do a Halloween colored corner to corner blanket. If you've watched any of my crochet videos, you know I've been doing so many granny square things. So I wanted to do something a little different, and I have seen this pattern. I'll link it below. I think it's from Hooked by Robin. She does this corner to corner pattern that has holes in it, and it works up really quickly. I actually started one. This is why I shouldn't be starting another one. I started one a few weeks ago. I had bought this wooden crochet hook from Furls and wasn't using it, so I was like, let me give it another chance. And it was like very naturey, felt very earthy. So I grabbed a skein of this, or a cake of this Karen, what is it? I can't remember. Karen something or other. Super soft. What is this called? I should know. I think I have it here. Latte cakes? Yes. Karen latte cakes. And this is also very kind of earthy, like reds and oranges and browns. And so I was like, let me use my wooden crochet hook and try this corner to corner pattern. And this is what I've got so far from it. I like that her pattern is like the corner to corner, but with these squares, and it all turns out very square. So once I'm done with the blanket, you know, and it's kind of the right direction, I think it's super cool. This yarn is a little on the thin side. I'm glad I had this little band. And it says 5 bulky. I really beg to differ. But anyway, it's a little thin, and I was using a 6mm crochet hook. And from the second I started this, I was like, I think this is too big of a hook for this yarn. It's pretty loose. The stitches are not tight. And like almost every row that I did, I was like, are we sure about this? Do I want us, you see how loose the stitches are? Are we sure we want to do it in this size, or should I frog it back and use a smaller crochet hook? But I kind of decided I like it the way it is. It's soft, it's loose, it's working up really quickly. And when you're not tugging on it, it doesn't look like that. It just looks normal. So it's going to be a pretty light blanket. I can't get over how soft this yarn is. So I was excited about that, and I don't know how much yarn I'll need. So, you know, you make it however wide you want it, and then you can make it a square or a rectangle or whatever. So it's already probably 3 feet across, and I've used maybe like a third of this skein, maybe a quarter, probably a third. So I don't know. It's working up really quickly, but I started it, I think I did this all in like one day, and then put it away. So I should finish it, right? You would think that's how things would go. But I haven't. But then I bought all this other yarn from Joann's, and I was like, I want to do it again. This yarn is thicker, so if you know, you maybe have experienced both of these yarns. This is a thicker yarn. It says it's a 4 medium weight. It is the same, at least, if not thicker than that one that's listed as a 5 bulky. And then I wanted white and black, and I was like, let me use what I have at home. So I grabbed, I think I ordered 2 skeins of this Savor yarn from Ice Yarns. I bought, I think, 2 skeins of the black, and I have 2 skeins of this sort of creamy white, also Savor. I was like, those will be perfect. These are both just a whisper thicker than the orange one from Joann, but close enough. And also I wanted to use what I had, so I don't care if they're exactly the same. And then I started this blanket. Let me give myself a little slack here. So I'm just starting over with another corner to corner in orange, black, and white, and it's got the squares. It's a really cool pattern. I hadn't seen... You can do a corner to corner just like this without the gaps in it, but I was like, you know what? For a lighter blanket, why not? It's working up quickly. So I'm doing 3 rows of each color. I'm just alternating. And this one, I'm going to make it a rectangle. I don't want to make it huge because I'm making so many blankets and they take so long. But this is already, if you use my body as a comparison, it's already probably pretty close. I just started a new color, black, so I'm going to do one more like set of colors. 3 rows of black, 3 rows of white, 3 rows of orange, and then I'm going to be done with the width of it, and then I'm going to extend it down a little bit. I don't know. I did all of this in one day as well. It works up very quickly. So I'm hoping I can have a, you know, decent sized rectangular blanket for Halloween or the spooky season in a few days, maybe. So I'm going to work on this tonight while we chat, but I just wanted to show you that. And again, it's the same pattern in these 2 blankets linked below. Easy, super easy. It's just like chains and double crochets and kind of mindless. Like you don't have to think very much about it. Now I usually, with my granny squares, I'm a stickler for weaving in my ends. I am not with this blanket. I just wanted to like have fun with it and work it up. So I'm gonna have a lot of ends to weave in the end. I've just been joining, you know, my colors and then moving on without weaving them in. So there's a little bit of work to be done when it's done, but that's fine. So that's what I'm going to work on tonight. I wanted to show you a couple of other things first before I settle in. So today is August 2nd. You're probably watching it, if everything goes according to plan, on August 3rd. It'll be posted. But I just finished my July temperature blanket square. If you've seen any of my other videos, I'm doing a 2024 temperature blanket where each month is one big granny square, and then I'm going to join them at the end. So you guys are going to get a sneak peek of my July square. I'm going to do an everything I crocheted this month video for July as well, because I've done quite a few things, and I'll show that one, this one in that video, but I figured I'd give you guys a sneak peek. July was boring. I've had some wild months with this temperature blanket. July was boring because our temperatures barely fluctuated. Not really surprising. August is probably going to be pretty similar, but this is it. And this gives me vibes of my grandmother's sofa from the, she probably bought it in the 70s or 60s, probably 70s, I don't know. I remember sitting on it in the early 80s. It also reminds me of my cat's cat food from when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we had 2 cats, and we fed them Friskies. I don't even know if that's around anymore. This is the color of Friskies. So it's a little boring, but I like every single month for what they are. And this was July. Very consistent temperatures. And I could have chosen colors that were a little more contrasting, but I didn't want to. I used what yarn I had when I started this in January, when I was very new to crochet. So I love it because I'm sticking with my plan, and 7 months are now done, and I have 5 months left. So lots of granny squares have happened this year. But I thought I would settle in and just work on this blanket a little bit and chat with you guys about what's been up. How's that sound? If you like this kind of thing, please give the video a like. It really does help. You can subscribe to the channel as well. It's free. And then you can see lots of other content. You can look on the channel. I've got videos about all sorts of things. I've been making YouTube videos since 2006. on a huge variety of content. I've removed a lot of them from the channel over the years, but there's still plenty of content. And if you really like this kind of video, you could become a member if you like, and support the channel in that way. There's a join button below the video. If you're watching it on a mobile device, I don't think there is a join button, but the link is also in the description. And it's as cheap as 99 cents a month if you want to become a member and get access to additional videos and content and perks and things like that. For now, let's just settle in and chat and crochet. I was going to tell you guys, because I've done a fair number of videos where I've talked about ice yarns, which comes from Turkey, and you have to order it online. I don't know that it's for sale anywhere commercially here. And I watch a lot of Secret Yarnery, Krista's videos, where she does all these ice yarn hauls and unboxings. And I bought most of the yarn that I bought in the video where I did my big haul based on recommendations for her. And she seems to just love this Savor yarn from Ice Yarns, which is a 100% Draylon acrylic. I don't know what Draylon acrylic is, but she believes it's softer than other types of acrylic. I will tell you, I have bought it, and interestingly now, I can compare it with some more common yarns that you can find in America. I think this big twist is popular at Joann's or common. I have a Michael's nearby. I bought a lot of the loops and threads soft classic acrylic yarn. My entire temperature blanket is made from that. So comparing those two, which I think are pretty common, like low cost yarns in the States, this Draylon acrylic from Savor from Ice Yarns is the least soft of them all. I like a lot of the stuff that Ice Yarns has. I wouldn't buy these again, and I really wouldn't recommend you do either. Now, she lives in Kenya. I don't know what yarns she can get locally in Kenya. This might be sort of softer than what she has locally available. If you live in the States, or probably Canada too, the stuff available in stores here is, in my opinion, better. It's also just a little bit thicker than both that loops and threads and the big twist yarn. So that's just my little feedback if you're looking to compare. She recommended another yarn from Ice Yarns called Softly Baby, which is much softer. It's still thick. It's, I think, probably similar to this big twist. I don't have it right here, but that one is super soft, and I like that one. This Savor yarn, it's fine. I won't buy it again. The name Savor sounds like it's sort of like a budget yarn. She just raved about it, and so much of her yarn, if you watch her videos, is this Savor yarn. It's the least soft of the yarns that I've used, probably. So there's just a little comparison if you're interested. It's not cheap to pay for the shipping from Turkey with Ice Yarns. The yarns themselves are cheap, but the shipping will get you. And I think it really balances out at the end of the day, but it's nice to know kind of what you're getting. So I hope somebody finds that little comparison helpful. But anyway, if you would like a tutorial on how to make this pattern, I could do one. I'm not the best at tutorials, though. I've talked about that before in other videos. There are other, I am interested in doing really other types of videos. Hooked, is it Hooked by Robin? I believe the one I've linked in the description is excellent. So watch that. I watched it, and it's super clear. So she has a really great tutorial. I don't know if it's her pattern, but she explains it super easily. I'm also trying to use these crochet hooks that I ordered from Furls. I've done a couple of different unboxings of those. I bought these rainbow acrylic ones during Pride Month. about that wooden one. I am trying to use them and get used to them. I think in one of the last videos that I made, I talked about how these hooks are, because I normally use the, what are they called? The Clover Amour hooks, which I really like. They're much smaller than these, and so I had initially tried some of these out, and I have some of the metallic ones. These are, I think, acrylic, and then I bought that one wooden one. And I'm just, with the way I hold my crochet hook, I was having a hard time with it, like slipping and kind of like rolling, and I didn't know if I was a super fan of these. I have to say, I'm getting used to it. I'm basically just using these just to try them out. And I've gotten used to this acrylic one, and I actually really like that wooden one now. Before I had said that it kind of like tugs on your yarn because it's made of wood. I think that with some use it kind of smooths out. You can also apparently like oil them or wax them. I don't know that I want to do that since I'm going to be using them with yarn, but as I've used that wooden one, oh, I put it away, that wooden one with the latte cakes, I don't have an issue with it. So I enjoy it. I will say I like the Clover Amour hooks better. Like after working on this all day one day, then I went back to my temperature blanket with the Clover Amour hook, and I was like, oh, I'm so happy to see you again. And they're the same size. They're 6mm crochet hooks, but I really like the Clover Amour. I think I am team Clover Amour. If furls or if there's other crochet hooks that I find myself drawn to, I'll get them to try them out. But I don't like this one as much. I like the rainbow thing. I don't know, it was Pride Month. I enjoy that it's a little bit different than your traditional crochet hook, and I really like the metal ones too. They're just a lot heavier. So if you're new to crochet and you want to upgrade from just the basic sort of, you know, aluminum crochet hooks that you can buy at Walmart, I would recommend the Clover Amour for sure. But it depends on your style and how you like to crochet and all sorts of other factors, so you do you. So I just finished my summer classes for my nurse practitioner program. I'm studying to be a family nurse practitioner, and I'm getting closer to the end of my program. I have 2 semesters left, so I start back up again in, oh God, like 2.5 weeks. And that semester will be done in December, and then my last semester is in May. And if all goes according to plan, I will graduate in May, which is really nice because the end finally feels like it's in sight. And also I'm doing like the core, you know, the meat and potatoes of the program now. There's a lot of prerequisites in the beginning, just like any other degree program, which are important courses, but now I'm in the like core bulk of how to be a nurse practitioner and doing the clinical rotations, which makes you feel like you're actually, you know, becoming a nurse practitioner. So I am working toward becoming a family nurse practitioner. And so if you don't know much about what a nurse practitioner is, or if you live in many other countries in the world, because there are not a whole lot of countries where they have nurse practitioners, the gist of it is it's an advanced degree from a base in nursing, which gives you training and the credentialing to do essentially very similar things to what like a medical doctor would do, an MD or a DO. And there's different types of nurse practitioners too. But essentially, as a family nurse practitioner, the training kind of prepares you to do a lot of the same things that like your family doctor would do, your GP, or if you're in the hospital, like the hospitalist or the internal medicine doctor. Then as an FNP, you can get jobs in any sort of specialty areas. Like I was in urgent care all semester. FNPs work in emergency rooms. They can work in specialty areas. That requires additional training, but you can work in all sorts of different places. But In many states, FMPs, well, any nurse practitioner can even open their own practice. So as an FMP in this state, in New York, I could open my own clinic and see patients independently in the same way like your family doctor would do. So that's what I'm working on, and I have lots and lots of clinical hours to do as part of the program. So this whole summer semester I was in urgent care. If you're not in America, I don't know everybody's terminology, but it's sort of a quick access type of center that's not a doctor's office and it's not the emergency room. It's very much sort of an in-between. Like if you've got something going on that's serious enough that you feel you need to be seen quickly, maybe the doctor's office doesn't have an appointment today, or it might be more serious than something a doctor's office would treat, but you don't necessarily need to go to an emergency room. That's what urgent care is for. So I was there all summer, and that was super interesting because I've never really, knock on wood, been sick myself. I broke my arm when I was 9, and then I went to an emergency room, but that's really the only time I've been in a hospital. I didn't have to be admitted. I got a cast and left from the emergency room. I've never really had to utilize urgent care, and my whole nursing background is really in the ICU setting. So urgent care was very different from anything I've been exposed to in my life or in my nursing career. And it's been really interesting. I had a great preceptor, and it's just such a different environment from what I am used to. And I really liked it. The clinic where I was, it's just nurse practitioners there. There's, I don't think, any medical doctors. It's owned by a medical doctor, but that's apparently just the owner. And they have several locations, and it's all nurse practitioners. And it was super cool. I saw lots of things that I don't usually see as an ICU nurse. You know, if things are not serious enough that they require an ICU admission, I don't know how to treat it. So this was very, very fun to see different things. We saw kind of a bucket of similar situations. We saw lots of like respiratory stuff. It's COVID numbers are high again. So lots of like COVID or upper respiratory issues, pneumonia, sinus problems, like all that kind of like cold, flu, COVID, something, I just don't feel good kind of thing. We saw lots of, so up here in all over this part of the country, there's a lot of ticks, a lot. And so lots of tick bites, lots of like Lyme disease evaluation and treatment, lots of poison ivy. Everybody's out working in their gardens right now, so they're getting all these kind of rashes from the things out in the nature. We saw lots of cuts that needed to be stitched up, lots of UTIs. They did like STD testing, pregnancy testing, all those sort of like, something is going on down here and I need to get it evaluated. Sprains, strains, I saw maybe like 2 fractures, but lots of strains. So like all those things that you're like, I should probably get this checked out today, but I don't need to go to an emergency room. And then we had some people come into urgent care that should have gone to an emergency room, and we had to send them there. Like one lady was actively having a heart attack. She needed to be in an emergency room. There was a patient we believe was having a stroke who also needed to be in an emergency room. So all sorts of interesting different things. So it was overall really good, very exhausting because I'm still working full time and I had to do a ton of clinical hours in a very short summer semester. So I'm still, I think, catching up on sleep. I now have 3 days off, and I would not be mad if I slept for, well, like all 3 of them. I have a lot of stuff to catch up on, so that probably won't be happening. But it was a really good semester. Lots of learning in the classroom, and then lots of practical stuff in the clinical setting. Next semester, I'm going to rotate in a doctor's office with a doctor, just general, like your GP, your family doctor, which is exciting. He is a doctor who's had a practice in the same town as the Joannes, actually. Oh, that's dangerous. I'm going to be by a Joannes every day. Anyway, he's been there forever. He's been treating patients for probably 40 years, and he's apparently really good and super open to taking nurse practitioner students. So that'll be good, because I think probably a big number of FMPs work in sort of primary care areas. So this will be kind of my first clinical exposure to that. So I'm excited for that. And then in the spring, I have to do a rotation and classroom stuff with pediatrics, and then a rotation in women's health, like with your OBGYN kind of deal. And then I'll be done. Finally, I started a nurse practitioner program when I was in Texas. I started an acute care nurse practitioner program, and then we moved, and I couldn't continue that here. New York is very picky with where your school is and where you do your clinicals, and so I basically just had to kind of start over. They transferred 3 of my classes, and I basically had to start over. And now I'm doing the FMP track, family nurse practitioner. But I feel like I've been on this journey for a long time. I also paused my studies out of necessity during the pandemic. So it's good to be not only back in it, but also nearing the end. So that was my school update. So in the week that I've been done with school, I've worked 3 days. I don't really have work updates for you guys. Work is stable and steady, and maybe the least interesting thing that's going on right now. Work is fine. But I also got to, you guys may know, I love scary movies and scary books, and Longlegs is out now in theaters, and it's had so much hype. And I watch, if you guys like scary movies, I watch Emma, Spooky Astronauts here on YouTube. I don't really watch TV. I watch YouTube. You can get all your information from YouTube. TV is unnecessary. But she is this Australian girl who just has a whole channel about scary movies. And so I get all my good tips from her. She said if there's any movie this year, any scary movie that you see in theaters, it has to be Longlegs. So I have a couple of friends here in the area that like scary movies. Andrew does not. So I reached out to one of my friends and I was like, we have to see Longlegs in the theater. And we went and saw it the other day. And it's not good. Okay, I'm going to have a little scary movie talk here with you guys. I know not everyone likes scary movies, but pretend I'm talking about a non-scary movie. Here's the thing. Well, first of all, I didn't like the movie. And then I had to go home and think about whether I actually didn't like it or if I just didn't understand it, because I was feeling both after the movie. My friend didn't like it either. And it had some, Emma from Spooky Astronauts said she absolutely loved it. So I was like, what just happened? It was very strange. It was very confusing to keep up with sort of what was going on, and just not very good. And the funny thing is now, like, it's been almost a week since I saw it. I almost don't remember the details of the movie because it was so strange, and I spent the whole movie like thinking like, what the heck is going on? I remember the overall vibe. Strange. But anyway, so we got out of the theater and we're like, what the heck did we just watch? And I went home and I immediately went back to Emma's video where she reviewed it, and I was like, what? I'm missing something. No, I just don't think it was my cup of tea. Not good. I'm glad I got to see it in the theater, but no. And I'll tell you another, on that note, another movie where I had the same experience, because I think I've only had that experience one other time, where I saw the movie and I was like, what did I just watch? I need to do some research. And it's another movie that most people don't like, and it's the movie Mother. Have you guys seen that? It has Jennifer Lawrence, the one from The Hunger Games. Okay, when I was with my ex, if you've been around for a while, you know my ex. We went to see Mother in the theaters. It's very strange. It has Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem from Spain, Spanish actor. And it's very weird. Very few movies are like that. And I love seeing a movie that you watch it and you're like, wow, I haven't seen a movie like that before. Because most of the time you watch a horror movie and you immediately know how it's going to end. And you're like, well, I've seen 5 other movies just like this. That's not one of them. We watched that movie in the theater, and I got out of the theater and I was like, I don't understand what I just watched. What the heck was that? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And my ex said, oh, I get it. I got it the whole time. It's a Christian sort of allegory. Like they were telling sort of a biblical story in a very non-biblical way. He's like, I totally got it. I was like, what the heck? Well, if you know my ex, or if you knew him, he grew up in a very religious household and went to Christian school. I'd call it a cult, but they called it a school, his whole upbringing. Just to give you perspective, when we met, I was 22, he was 27, I think, and he learned that the moon does not, in fact, emit its own light, like the Bible says it does in Genesis. When we were together, we had a whole conversation about the moon reflecting the sunlight, and his mind was blown by that. And he's like, well, the Bible says it. Anyway, so he watched that scary movie and was like, oh, no, this is a religious story. And then he explained what we saw in the movie from this religious perspective. And I was like, oh, is that what was happening? I have to see it again. I think I went back the next day and watched it again in the theater by myself, which I hate going to movies by myself. And then I loved it. And if not because I connect with some sort of religious story necessarily, but once you get what they're trying to say, which I think even the creators of that movie were like, yeah, this is, I mean, everyone can interpret it how they want, but this is definitely like a religious undertone, Christian religious undertone to this movie. As soon as I understood that part, I loved that movie. I've watched it many times since then. We own it. It's very stressful. It's a very high anxiety, scary movie, and I think it's amazing. Most people hate it. So I was like, maybe that happened with Long Legs. Let me go home and research it, and then maybe I'll like it. No, not for me. I'll tell you what was for me, though. I also read a book this week. I read a somewhat scary book. It was really fun. I got a recommendation from somebody else on YouTube. I watch a lot of book reviewers, and somebody had recommended the book My Best Friend's Exorcism. Have you guys heard of it or read it? Apparently, that's what I'm going to do later. Apparently it's a movie too now. It's a very fun story. I don't know when it was written, but it takes place in the 80s, and there's this very like nostalgic 80s vibe to the book. It's about 2 friends, 2 girls who meet when they're young, and then they're kind of friends all through school and through the 80s. And the author absolutely tries to emphasize all these 80s things, 80s references, going to the roller skating rink and the music they listen to and all the references. It's very 80s. I'm an 80s baby, but I was born in 84, so I connect maybe more with the 90s, but I think I understand the majority of the 80s references. So it was really fun. And then one of the girls, there's some stuff that happens, and then it turns out that maybe she's possessed by a demon. You know, as you do sometimes, just get possessed. So her friend has to help her, essentially. So it's like a you know, 80s nostalgia where you also accidentally get possessed by a demon when you're hanging with your friends. And it was really, really good. I really liked it. It was like fun 80s vibes with sort of spooky. And then I will say there were some parts that I think would definitely lean into scary territory. My bar for scary, I think, is quite a bit higher than your average bear. But there were some parts that I think would be quite frightening if you reference it. I mean, they even referenced the original Exorcist movie in that book, which was also kind of fun. That movie terrified people when it came out. This was not on that level. I'm going to watch the movie and see. But it was there. It leaned scary at times. Mostly just really fun 80s spooky. So yeah, in a week, went to the movies, read a book, I don't know why, it's just the beginning of August, so I don't know why I'm getting all these like spooky season vibes in July. But I am. And I'm not apologizing for it. It's been super nice. Now I have 3 days off, and I have a few projects to do, but I'm gonna just enjoy and kind of do whatever the heck I want during my days off. My summer break, where I still work full-time. Summer break from school isn't quite the same when you're an adult, and you still have to work full-time, but on my work days off, I can do whatever the heck I want. I just finished one row of this blankie, so let me flip it and I'll tell you guys about what else we're going to be up to for the summer. I'm usually so picky about weaving in my ends, so these ends give me anxiety, but it's fine. I just want to double check because I've been talking the whole time I did this. I just want to make sure that I did everybody correctly. I've never done corner to corner before, this one and the other one that I did like a week prior. It's really fun. It gives me granny square vibes, but it's different enough that it feels brand new. And definitely beginner friendly if you want to try something like this. So Andrew still has not made an appearance in a video in a hot minute, but I think he will be making an appearance soon. We are taking a little trip next week. We're going to Mexico. We're going to go to Cancun. I'm super excited. I love Cancun. I've been there probably 20 times. Andrew's never been there before. He's been to Cabo in Mexico, but he's never been to Cancun. And I really like it there. When we met, Andrew had been to the Dominican Republic and I hadn't, and he was a huge fan of the Dominican Republic, so we have gone there twice together. Our first experience was amazing and I loved being in the Dominican Republic. Our second experience was, we made it a nice trip, the two of us. The resort was not nice. We had a ton of negative interactions. Not great. We both left saying, we don't need to go back for a while. And in fairness, we stayed in like all-inclusive resorts both times there. So you sort of get, you have to manage your expectations when you're in these all-inclusive resorts. But my birthday is coming up. My birthday is actually September 21st, but I'm going to be elbows deep in school again by then. So we're going to try to take a little trip for my birthday. We're trying to decide where to go. We might go to New Orleans, one of my favorite cities, just for a long weekend. I've actually celebrated my birthday in New Orleans at least twice before, if not 3 times. I used to go there all the time when I lived in Austin. So we might do that, and that would be really fun. But we also, I don't know, we might go to somewhere in Florida, or who knows. We'll go somewhere for like a long weekend for my birthday. But we have like 10 days off now coming up. So we are going to go to Cancun, and I'm excited. Andrew's first time. We found a place, a resort. It is an all-inclusive thing, but a super nice one. One of the top-rated ones in Cancun, which I've never stayed at. I feel like I've stayed in practically every hotel in the hotel zone in Cancun. Never this one. And it looks really nice. We paid a little extra for, you know, after our experience in the Dominican where we got a good deal, we were like, nah. So it should be super nice, and I'm going to try to get Andrew to do some filming with me. Oh, when I talk, I mess up. I'm going to try to get Andrew to do some filming with me a little bit while we're there, just some casual, like, chatty type videos. I would like for him to update you guys on how he's been doing. He's been a nurse for a year now already. He's an ER nurse, and he still works nights, so he's working tonight. And it has not been fun this year of us working opposite schedules, but that is just how it goes a lot of times when you're a new nurse. It's kind of like a paying your dues sort of thing, and up here in New York everything is unionized, and then you have to, it's all seniority based. So, but he just found out that he's going to be moving to day shift soon. There's like a waiting period, but he officially like accepted a day position at his same place. So that will be really nice, and he's really looking forward to that. Night shift has not been easy for him. So hopefully we can do a little chatty video or two with you guys from Cancun. But I'm super excited to go there and just chill out, enjoy the resort, enjoy the beach. I really like Cancun because there's so many things you can do around Cancun. You can go into the city, but there's also a lot of pretty fun excursions. And Andrew hasn't done any of it, so we'll see what we get up to, and I'm sure I'll have, if not a bunch of video content, at least some pictures and stuff to show you guys when we get back. So that's sort of my early birthday present. I'm turning 40 in September, which is a big one, and I really wanted to do a bigger trip. I wanted to go to either Japan or Thailand or New Zealand. We don't have enough time now. You need more time, I think, for trips that far away. So that will not be happening right now, but we will make that happen as soon as we can. Andrew's birthday is in March, and he'll be turning 30. So maybe we'll try to do like a far away trip for his 30th. But I'm excited for Cancun, and then I'm excited for whatever little trip we do for my birthday. And I feel like I have the rest of the year mapped out because I'm going to be in school. I know when I work, and I'm going to be in school. I messed up again. So if you haven't done this corner to corner pattern, you're going diagonally up and then down, and you're building little squares with like a chain 3 and then 3 double crochets. And for one row, you do that on every block, and then the next row you alternate between a chain 3 with 3 double crochets and then a chain 6, and that chain 6 creates, sorry, I have a black shirt, it's hard to see, creates the little hole once you do the next row. So you have to alternate double crochet block, chain 6, double crochet block, chain 6. Well, twice now I've done this while I've been talking to you guys, where I do 2 blocks in a row. But that's okay. This is not about speed or perfection, and it's actually pretty easy to catch it when you do it. So, let me just make sure. Okay, we're good up until here. It's super easy, this pattern. So you do, on these rows where you're alternating, you do a chain 6, and then you slip stitch into the block, like you're like climbing blocks. So you slip stitch in that next block, whoops, and then you do a chain 3 and 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then you slip stitch climbing up to the next block, chain 6, and repeat. So it's super easy. Or I should say it's super easy if you're not talking and not paying attention. Like me right now. But anyway, how are you guys? How's your summer going? Comment below if you're seeing this live during the premiere. Let's chat in the text box. What are you guys up to this summer? If not, just comment below. I read all of my comments. I try, it's been busy. It's been a busy summer, but I try to respond to all, or at least most of them, I'm reading. So tell me below what you guys are up to, what you're excited about. I have a few videos in the works as well. I now, like I said, have 3 days off, and I'm going to try to do 3 different videos. I filmed a video last week that I was going to post, and then it just wasn't interesting at all. Like, I got bored watching it as I was editing it, so I'm going to start again. But I'm going to do like a hang with me day kind of video where you can see some stuff that I'm working on here on the property in the homestead. I'm going to do a everything I crocheted this month videos to show you guys what I did in July. I actually, somehow, even though I was busy with school, I did quite a few things which I would like to show you. I need to make some soap this weekend, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, I'm going to have a little soap making video coming. So there should be quite a few little things for you guys to keep an eye out, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that kind of thing. If you have any questions, comments, video topic requests, put them below, put them in the comments. If you have any questions for Andrew, I had thought about doing a little Q&A with him. I asked you guys for some questions weeks ago, and then there wasn't time to do a Q&A with him. But if you've got questions for him or me or both of us, put those below and we can answer maybe some questions from the beach in Mexico. Whatever you guys want. Check the description below. I'm going to link everything I've been talking about, but also there's all sorts of different ways you can interact with us. I have talked before about how I love postcards. I've been thinking about that because we're going to Mexico. And so if you guys would like to send us a postcard, I will show it in a video. I've gotten several postcards from you guys. Also, apparently I can't count to 6 while talking. I love postcards. So if you want to show us where you live, where you're from, pick up a local postcard. If you're going on a trip, send us a postcard. I love that. The address is down in the description below. I think my final plug is going to be, we are in August. In November, I'm running the New York City Marathon. I'm running it in collaboration with the World Wildlife Fund. It's a charity organization that I think does amazing work for our animals, our planet, our water, our communities. And I have to raise $30,000 for them in order to be able to run the New York City Marathon. Many of you guys have donated already, and I'm so grateful. But if any of you out there enjoy the content and or would like to donate, would like to sponsor me by donating to the World Wildlife Fund, no matter where you live in the world, they're doing amazing efforts all over the place to keep our planet happy and healthy for everyone who calls it home. So I will put that link in the description below. If you would like to donate, you don't have to. I just appreciate you hanging out with me as I do it for a 3rd time. Granny squares I can do without thinking. Apparently alternating every other block, not so easy for me. But you know what? It's fine. So I think that's all my plugs. What else can I tell you? I don't think I've got much else going on really. I'm just gonna be looking forward to a few weeks of freedom. When we get back from Mexico, Andrew's mom and some friends are gonna come stay in our house while we're gone and watch the dogs. And then a couple days after we get back, we are hosting 8 girls Andrew's sister is getting married, and she's hosting her bachelorette party here at our house. So we're going to have 8 girls taking over, and we have a fully packed agenda for the days that they're here. It's going to be a fun and busy time, but we're also kind of getting ready for them to be here. So that'll be an adventure for sure. And then when they leave, I have like 2 days off, and then I start school again. So quick and dirty summer break, but it's going to be a good time. So lots of things to be excited about. I hope to make lots of videos and content for you guys. But I guess for now, I'll call it a night. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Let me know in the comments what you worked on, if you were working on a project while listening to me ramble. And I hope you guys enjoy these types of videos. I like it because I don't have to put a lot of brain power into it. I can just crochet and chat with you guys. These are typically longer videos. Some people don't like longer content. Some people really do. I love longer videos. I a lot of times put them on as I'm going to sleep. I watch a lot of plant people when it's sleepy time. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. That's it. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging. Comment below. Tell me what you're up to. Ask a question. Make a comment. And I will see you guys very soon. If you watch this live with me, I lost my voice there at the end. If you watch this live with me, thanks for hanging live. And since I'm losing my voice, it's time to go to bed, probably. Hope everyone's doing well. Until next time, take care, guys.